Good day. I'm Kathy King V. Handog, and you can call me Teacher Kat. And for today's discussion, I will be discussing the strategies for effective interpersonal communication. So I hope that you're gonna watch it until the end so that you will become an effective communicator. Before we proceed to our actual discussion, class, I want you to read the conversation in the screen. Observe the flow of communication that the character shared. So this is your first activity and I want you to perform this with a pair. Class, you can pause the video for you to be able to read and practice the conversation. So okay, your timer starts now. I will give you 5 minutes. Wow, that was amazing, class. So I guess all of you already performed that first activity. So now, let us all proceed to our discussion. So before we proceed on discussing the strategies, let us first know what is interpersonal communication. So interpersonal communication is the process of face-to-face exchange of thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotion between two or more people. This activity needs a very commendable interpersonal skills. So what is the skills? This skill is called interpersonal skills. And what is interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills are the traits you rely on when you interact and communicate with others. They cover a variety of scenarios where communication and cooperation are essential. So these skills involve the ability to communicate and build relationship with others, often called people skills. They tend to incorporate both your innate personality traits and how you have learned to handle certain social situations. Effective personal communication skills can help you to become an effective interpersonal relationship with others. Active listening. Active listening is an example of interpersonal skills, which means listening to others with the purpose of gathering information and engaging with the speaker. Active listeners avoid distracting behavior while in the conversation with others. This can mean putting away or closing laptops or mobile devices while listening, asking, and answering questions when prompted. So the question here is how to develop active listening. So listen well, because the 5 things that I will be saying are the things that you must practice for you to be an active listener. So number 1, pay attention. Give the speaker your complete attention rather than thinking your response. Number 2, show the speaker that you are listening and that you're interested. Body language is especially helpful for this. So number 2 is be interested to what he or she is saying. Number 3, clarify your understanding. You need to ensure that you understand what the speaker is saying without your judgment and beliefs getting in the way, so you reflect and ask questions. So number 4, do not interrupt or redirect the conversation. Number 5, provide a suitable response that is honest but polite. So, if you have doubt or something, you must say it politely and do not say it rudely or in a bad way. Body language. Body language is significantly used to understand what is being said. When communicating with others, your aim is to display open body language, such as a relaxed posture, maintaining eye contact, uncrossed arms, nodding your head, smile, and etc. So close body language should be avoided as you may be perceived as uninterested or untrustworthy. For example, folding your arms or legs. So di makita kong tiil. Avoiding eye contact, such as doing like this. Shifting eyes, the same. And fidgeting. Here are 10 strategies for effective interpersonal communication. Number 1. Don't show negative body language. As the saying goes, the first impression is the last impression. Hence, you should always be careful when it comes to body language. Another important point to hear or to note here is that you should not bring any physical barriers between you and the other person. Barriers create distractions, and can make the communication process uncomfortable, such as like I have mentioned earlier, the cross arms, folding your leg, and shifting your eyes or avoiding eye-to-eye contact. That are some of the negative body language. So don't show negative body language. Number 2, do not interrupt the other. It is very rude to interrupt a person while they are speaking. Nobody likes to be interrupted because it hampers the thought process and it is disrespectful. Just like what I said earlier, do not interrupt and redirect the conversation. Number 3, think before you speak. So another adage that perfectly describes this point is a look before you leap. You should think how your words are gonna affect the person with whom you are communicating before making any comments. That means you should try to connect with the feelings of the other person in order to show that you are genuinely care about the conversation that is going between the two of you. So number 4, listen well. The ability to listen what a person is saying is itself a skill, and you should focus on that while communicating with others. If you have good listening skills, you will be able to understand that person's words more clearly and react in a positive manner. It will also send a signal to other person that you care about what she or he has to say. Number 5. Don't be defensive or attacking. Be neutral. Some people tend to get defensive or attacking during conversation. You do not have to get overexcited when someone points you your mistakes and get defensive or attack them. Be neutral and transparent so that you can understand what is actually being discussed. Always maintain the balance in the conversation so that everyone involved in the discussion has a fair part in it. Number 6, do not deviate. Always try to stick to the topic of discussion to maintain the relevancy of the communication process. There is no need to bring something totally unrelated to the discussion and waste the time of the people involved. If you deviate away from the topic, the whole idea of conversation becomes less meaningful. Number 7, be confident of your ideas. You should always be confident of what you are speaking, and you should take ownership of your words. This will increase the trust that the other people have in you and make the conversation flow freely. So, one of the benefits of being confident of your ideas is gaining trust from other people. Number 8, be open to receiving feedback. Sometimes it is good to step back and be receptive to feedback. Communication is a two-way process and you should remain like that. You should be able to open up to feedback from the other person and give honest feedback whenever you feel it is needed. Number 9, use the right communication method. Communication may not necessarily always be verbal, and you should understand the different types of situations as 4 different methods. You should know which type of communication method will be more effective. Location is also an important point to remember. Different types of communication needs different location. Number 10, shake hands firmly. Kanang mag-shake hands. The last but not the least important tip is how you shake your hands when you introduce yourself. Give a firm handshake but not make it tight one, and do not squeeze kanang kumot. A weak handshake may indicate weak self-confidence. So that's all for our discussion, class. I hope that you have learned something from our discussion today. And always remember the things that I have said, just like what is interpersonal communication, what is interpersonal skills, the active listening skills, the body language that creates barriers to the communication, and the 10 strategies that I have discussed to be an effective interpersonal communication.
To test if you really understand the discussion, I will give set of activity for you class to answer. Activity 1. Directions. Study closely the common expression below that we hear among individuals in their conversation. Categorize them accordingly. Copy the table in your activity notebook and write your answers. Please help me. What? I am sorry. I don't care. Did I hear you right? Who cares? Just shut up. Could you give me a hand? Whatever. I beg your pardon. Activity 2. Review the lessons, then write your reflection in your notebook by finishing up the unfinished statements below.
So before I would end this video, I would like to say thank you for those people who helped me gather this information, especially to teacher Irene June Cadosali from Paciente Cesar G. Cabrera High School for letting me borrow one of the modules of grade 7. So thank you guys, and I hope that you have learned from this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.